Everybody, welcome back to Zen's AI Corner. Today, I want to talk about how the large language module works, aka how AI works, right? So everybody knows AI is helpful with answering different questions. Today, I'm going to focus on how AI is able to answer those questions because to most of us, it's like a black box. We're just passing some parameters in, and then magically it come up with responses, which is very amazing, right? So that's why I want to make this video to talk about how it works. So again, I'm going to just like do the whiteboarding today on my iPad. So hopefully that will give you some visualize how AI works, right? So everybody know when we use AI, the very first thing what we do is like a passing text. If you want talking about the visual or whatever, voice, something, maybe I can talk about that later. But let's starting for something which is easy to understand, like a text. For example, today I want to open ChatGPT and then I key in like Zen is smart. Right? So I want to large language module with ChatGPT to predict what the next word is. So how it works? How it works in ChatGPT. By the way, today I'm going to talk about the most common architecture for the large language module. So, like for example, ChatGPT, as mentioned already, Llama or Mistral, right? I'm talking about those most common large language module, how it works, right? So, having a getaway. So this Zen is a smart guy, not guy though. I give the answer already. I give it to Zen smart and ask ChatGPT to predict what the next character is or what it should be. So this one pass into, let's say, ChatGPT, aka we say large language module, right? Then what's the first thing ChatGPT gonna do? Or we say Llama or any the same based on architecture large language module do? They will do the tokenize. Tokenize like this the whole sentence, right? Then it's a smart, right? To say like what are they like a tokenized? Because if you don't understand what a token is something like the smallest unit in the large language module. If you want to compare with the real world, something like a cent, right? We have dollar, right? We have a quarter, we have a cent, right? And all items, for example, this pen cost me $100. So probably that means like how much, like 10,000 cents, right? And then maybe I bought this little bit like a refresher, maybe cost me 20 cents. So cent is something in the real world, like is the smallest unit for the value, for the price. So token is the smallest unit in large language module. All the characters which will be break into token, right? Because the large language module they consume tokens, right? So if you still don't know, I'm more than happy to explain in detail. But keep that in mind. Token is the smallest unit in large language module. So the first step for large language module to understand our sentence is tokenize that. So the large language module therefore can do the calculation. So, right. So they break the tokens, and the token. Then what's the next step will be, and now we break the sentence in token. The next step is to embed. Embed is transform the token, or let's say Zen is a smart, into embedding vectors. Vector is a bunch of like a float or digit. It's just a bunch of digits. Token is a bunch of like an integer, which you're talking about, which is mapping to the location of those characters or the meanings in the large language module, and then embedding, right, which is break those tokens into vector. Vector is basically like something like 2, 3, 4.65, blah 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 blah, right? It's an array, right? So those embedding can be used for large language module to calculate each word. For example, smart, right? What would be the next most likely character is. But before predict what's the most likely character is, we need to, a large language module need to tokenize that, break that into something which large language model can consume, then calculate that, which is doing embedding, which will produce a vector, and then after you have those vector, then large language module start doing the calculation. Probably you know already there is called transformer, right? In the ChatGPT, what transformer does? Transformer basically start calculating on those embeddings. In ChatGPT or Llama, those large language module architecture, there are three key most important, like transformer, like I say attribute, or three most important vector. They are the Q and the K and the V. Basically, like we have embedding, then we start calculating based on embedding, calculate what's the value for Q, what's the value for K, what's the value for V. So what Q means? Q means like, okay, smart here, right? So who are the most relevant like text to smart, right? Basically, it's trying to find those relevant keywords. And the K is like a key, right? To say, okay, so who are you? Like, what's your ID? Like, if you, maybe I should say this, like, use K with a key is able to identify, locate these keywords, which is smart we're talking about here. And the V is the meaning of these keywords. For example, smart is ever, right? So like a smart is like usually to describe a person, something like that. So basically talking about the meaning and the value for this vector. So with QKV, therefore, large language module is able to find out what's the most relevant, like the next keywords to do the prediction, right? Because only knows who are you, smart, know you well, know your relationship, we know where can I find you, and know what kind of value you have. Then the large language module can find those all the other keywords, all the other words in the large language module, who are the most relevant words. Right? Who are the relevant words is there? If you're asking where those like a relationship come from, how does large language module knows like who will be the next most relevant words, right? As I said, it's transformer do that. But where the knowledge come from? The knowledge coming from large language module, which you're learning for millions, like a web page, document from internet, for example, Reddit, for example, like some newspaper. Basically, large language module is like a Google, which is learning from different source, right? So sometimes I just call like a large language module AI, so like Google 2.0. But yeah, that's a bit off topic. Let's come back to transformer. So after we use transformer, then we're able to find out we'll come up with a list of the candidates, which will be the next one. For example, it could be guy, right? Could be man, could be blah blah blah. Then also because the transformer, it also gives the weight, a possibility, similarity, something like this is 0.8, this is 0.3. Then this step called the LM head, or you Softmax, if you heard about that. So basically, like this layer is pretty straightforward. It's just picking the most likely result. In this case, is guy, right? So and then large language module knows, okay, the most likely next keywords, like a following smart is guy. Then large language module come back with the result. It say then is us guy. This keyword, therefore, this is how to create it. So I found my yeah. So that shows how it works. So this diagram basically in a very high level, which is telling you how the large language module works, right? So hopefully this video give you some insight about large language module. I know like for a beginning, like even myself feel it's amazing, like large language module. How does it work? How does it know like answer in this way? It feels totally normal. It feels totally human-like. It's because large language module learned it using this kind of calculation at the background. At the end of the day, it's still computer, right? It's still computer. It's still computer programming, and but it uses the massive article source to train to learn, which is based on humans' input on internet or from the articles. So and using the tokenized embedding transformer and the LM head to calculate they're based on your input and the material they learn, therefore can give you the result like this, right? All right, I hope this video helped you with understanding how large language module works, how AI works. So if you like this video, give a like and share with your friends or your families. So I will see you next time. Have a good day, guys. Cheers.